Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Got a little bit of a late start here. I apologize. There's a lot going on today. I get dry skin every time I drink water with chlorine in it and ammonia. So, which means if I go out to a restaurant or I go out anywhere, I'm gonna drink that chlorine. People laugh at me because they're like, "Oh, well, why do you bring that half gallon?" Used to be I would bring a half gallon or a full gallon jug. Hey, good morning, Rosalind. How you doing, hon? Good morning, Anna. Great to see you. Um, Good morning, David. Uh, I used to bring a gallon of milk everywhere I would go with me. And I was the milk guy, right? I was working at the radio stations. And, Bull, Rich Gensler, he would tease me. And then, Shred and Reagan and just everybody. It was, oh, it's the guy with the milk, because I was in sales over there. And those guys they were the entertainment. So they've been there and they would see different salespeople go through all the time. Good morning, Cody. Great to see you, man. Happy Friday. Good morning, Paula. Great to see you, sweetheart. So, now I'm the water good. Now I'm the water guy, the gallon jug with the water tops. But believe me, you know what, guys? I was just talking to somebody yesterday. I was talking to Brian. He and I went out, and it was just a great day yesterday, all the way around. And even though it started off melancholy and sad, and I think that that's kind of a testament to where we all need to be, and I'll get into that in a minute. But I was talking to Brian, and Brian's like, "Dude, I deal with heartburn. I get this here and this here, and he starts talking to me about what he's drinking, And I'm like, "Well, you're drinking pop, dude." He's like, "Well, yeah, and I drink a lot of orange juice, or drinks orange juice or whatever it is that he drinks like once a day or whatever it is." And I'm like, "Well, dude, come on, man. Whatever you're putting in." And then he had to take something. He's taking something for the heartburn. And I'm like, man, that's like, pouring, I don't even know what to equate that to. It's like taking something that's really bad for you, but then taking something else to combat that, but to avoid having to take the thing that combats it, just don't ingest the thing that's bad for you. So, I did kind of a little study and analysis of myself, for good morning, Jackie, on the water around. And I was, never really realized it, but I've been dealing with like flaky skin for a while. And my brother said, "Hey, use organic lemons. It helps." And he'd been using it, and it kind of helped him. And then one day I just drank top spring water. And I was like, and here in Cheektowaga, I don't know if you guys remember this, again, our municipality's not doing anything for us and what they're supposed to be doing. But here in Cheektowaga, the water supply is just loaded with chlorine. You can smell it coming out of the tap, loaded with ammonia, loaded with all the other stuff that it's got. And then, of course, loaded with fluoride. In the east side of Buffalo, which is immediately adjacent to the neighborhoods that are immediately adjacent to Cheektowaga, in the city of Buffalo, there was a study about 3 years ago, or maybe it may have been a little bit longer or shorter ago, I don't remember exactly, but stating how carcinogenic the water was coming out of those taps. And then you didn't hear anything about it after that, Water supply, each one of these towns, they want to take it on. Good morning, Roger. Good morning, Joe. Great to see you, brother. Each one of these towns, they want to be in charge of water supply, but they don't want to be responsible with it. So, I was drinking the water, and, for the longest time, I was in Orchard Park and never really, dealt with the flaky skin. And Orchard Park's water supply is actually pretty good, believe it or not. And, you pay for it, but, so anyways. And then I was like, okay, one day I drank spring water from Tops, and I was always blasting it, like blasting it. That's bullshit. That's nonsense. I'm not going to do that. I can drink it out of the tap. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you pull it off the sludge at the bottom of the Buffalo River. I'm going to drink it because I'm a man. And then I was like, oh shit, this stuff really does suck. And I took some, I finally had some, top spring water after I'd been drinking a bunch of other stuff. And I was like, man, that's weird. Like my skin, in the wintertime, like on my hands would always look like I was 80 years old. I'm like, man, I'm not 80. I'm not 80 spring chicken, but I'm not 80 either. And, so I noticed that, and then I noticed my face, and then I was drinking that Top Spring water, and I'm like, man, my hands look really good, and my face isn't dry. So I don't know which spring it is. I think it's like Concord Spring water it comes from, but I was telling Brian, and I guess he does drink that water too. He's found that that's the best for him. But you started using that, and if I stick with just that water alone, guys, it's amazing. No heartburn, none of the the gastrointestinal. Not that I really struggled with that at all, but it's just that chlorine getting into your system. And I know some other people that started drinking it, and the effects have been huge on them. But your skin looks better, and it doesn't look as wrinkly. Look at see for yourself. So it does work. It's awesome. So, anyways, I got to go. Oh, that's awesome, Joe. That's so cool. But I got to go out yesterday, with Brian, and Brian was like, he goes, man, how do you talk for an hour? And you guys know me. Joe knows. I guess it's just that, when I get in a group setting, sometimes I'll talk, good morning, Anna. The pink mold. I know the pink mold sucks. It is. It's so dangerous. I know it. I saw that too. I'm glad you did that research, Anna, and shared that, because it is. That pink mold is disgusting, coming right out of the water. It's just horrible. It absolutely can. And that's probably why you see all of the bladder removals in this area, and the kidney stones, probably a huge reason, Anna. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm like, well, one-on-one, sometimes I'll talk a little bit, or in a group setting, I've got some stuff to communicate to people, which you need to, Good morning, Tom. Great to see you, buddy. I hope you're home. I really hope you're home. In a group setting, I'm just trying to communicate information to everybody, make sure everybody's got all the information that they need, and, being uplifting and encouraging and, reinforcing, and, just making sure people feel good about themselves is typically what I try to do. So when I have these lives that I do here, a lot of people ask me, they go, well, do you work off of notes? How do you talk for... All right, okay, fair enough, Tom. I won't do that again. I won't put my vest that close. That was funny. But he's like, how do you do it for that long? Like, he's like, you've got a lot of knowledge, and it's impressive that you can do that. And I go, well, I guess it's because I'm alone so much of the time throughout the day that, I've got all these things that are going on in my brain that I'm able to do it, And then he said, do you keep notes or whatever? And then I thought of, I said, yeah, I kind of do keep notes, I have to, with talking about all that, with everything that's going on. And then, he said, well, show me the notes. And I pulled my Amy Coney Barrett. I've been looking forward to doing that since he told me. So I wish I would have had New York Senate on it. But I don't. I don't keep the notes. I just kind of formulate everything in my brain of where I want to be. Yay! I love it. Good morning, Scott. I'm so glad you're home, brother. That's such a relief. I've been thinking about you. I've been praying for you. So I just kind of formulate everything in my head, and I try to make sure I'm speaking succinctly and, flowing from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And guys, I can't tell you how much it means to me to get those encouraging words back from you, like Tom tells me, and Paulette, his wife, beautiful wife, they're like, Pete, I love listening to you. And I didn't even realize that they enjoyed listening to me. But getting that feedback means the world to me, that I'm able to connect with you guys. And somebody reached out to me yesterday, and Paula had reached out to me, and so many of you have, Jackie all the time, Jackie just got done telling me this, and, it means the world to me that I connect with you guys in a way that makes you want to tune in and listen. It really does. So thank you for all the words of encouragement and, and the supporting words that you guys give me. But, getting back to the day yesterday, it was just awesome. I was able to do so much. I was able to get out and see so many people. My one friend, Rosemary, she had been inviting me over to her house So I was able to get over to her house yesterday. She made me a really nice lunch, beautiful, beautiful lunch. She was looking forward to getting the PS5. And, she couldn't order it. It said it was, I'm like, man, I don't know anything about that. I haven't had an entertainment system. Good morning, John. I haven't had an entertainment system since Sega Genesis, so I'm completely out of loop on that. And then she was upset and frustrated, as I'm sure there were a whole bunch of people. She's 31. I'm sure you in really good company with all the other 50 and 60 and 40 and 30 year old people that are, their inner 16-year-old really wanted this PS5, right? So, it was a great day being able to come over to her house and see her. But, I think what I wanted to mention about this is this. These groups that we have, guys, don't take it for granted. It is an absolute beautiful, wondrous, magnificent time in history right now for all of us to come together. It is absolutely... it's never been like this in my lifetime. Maybe when I was really young, when we were just coming out of the 60s and the 70s and we still had that patriotic pride and that nationalism and we could feel like it was good to be an American, right? And then, of course, the late 70s hit and all that nonsense that was there. But pay attention. I'm a misfit. I mean, that's a fact, people take a look at me and, I've been accused of so many different things. So many different people have accused me of being this person or that person or whatever, family, friends, co-workers. And is some of it legitimate? I'm sure. I haven't always been the person that I am now. A big part of me has always been that person. I've always wanted to be a good person and, try to be there for people. But, sometimes you don't understand or appreciate or respect, how people are, or how they look at you or perceive you. I've always been a leader, which has been great, and I never knew that I was. But, people always wanted me to be captain of the sports teams, whatever there were. They wanted me to be, a union steward or union president. They wanted me to be, head of this organization or head of that organization. When I went to boot camp, the same thing. They wanted me to be a lead there. And, people looked to me that way. And I don't really think that I respected it or appreciated it enough. I didn't honor that privilege enough because I didn't see I tried to always be humble, and not that I always was because, I had that ego and it wasn't like a cockiness. I guess it was almost an arrogance a little bit, but it was arrogance based on the fact that it wasn't like being a douche, even though I was a douche. It was just that I always wanted to win or have people see me in a certain light, when I was doing certain things, because other times I just didn't care. Like I really didn't care how people looked at me. It wasn't anything that I held of value. I didn't care what I owned. I still don't. I don't care how people look at me. But in certain regards, like for example, I'll give you an example. Like if I'm in a confrontational mode, whatever it is, if it was with work and I was a union steward going up against the people that were there, and we accomplished some great things. We really did. It was amazing. But I would get a little bit, too over the top, a little bit too aggressive. And what my attempt was, well, look, if you're entering into the ring, I'm going to hit you with everything I've got. There's no point in pulling back. Not understanding the art of war, just knowing, I'm going to come right at you and I'm going to, diffuse you that way. And then realizing that, hey, not everybody that is following you wants it to be that way. And they're also looking at this other person as a person, even though they're a combatant, even though they may be the so-called perceived enemy, they're still a person. So I was able to kind of take a look at all of that and evaluate that. And I've had some amazing mentors and peers and people who have been coaches and very meaningful to me in life, even though they didn't realize that they were. People that guided me, even though they didn't know they were because of the different things that they said, the way they, interacted with me. I still have a long way to go. I have a long, long, long way to go. but recognizing and appreciating, where I'm at right now and how everybody looks at me is absolutely invaluable. And the reason I say this is, people, they take us for granted, right? People take people like us for granted. And the reason they take us for granted is this. They look at us and they say, well, they think differently than I do. They don't look as good as I do, or, they look a little bit different than, I do. They don't live their life the way that I do, or the way that society says we're supposed to live our lives. Maybe, we have something on us, like I have scars all over my face, so it's, somebody takes a look at that and it has it makes people feel a little bit scared, nervous, wary. But when people look at somebody, they take them for granted. They don't, if they see somebody like that. So, for example, I have this friend. This friend has the most amazing heart you can possibly imagine. Beautiful, wonderful heart, so giving. And, the mind that they have is amazing and incredible. And this isn't just one friend. This is hundreds of friends that I have now. Thousands with all of you guys and everybody that I've met, But we're those deplorables, right? We're those outcasts. But we're the vast majority of this country. We're Democrats, we're liberals, we're independents, we're moderates, we're libertarians, we're Republicans, we're conservatives, we're no political affiliation or ideology at all. And we're those people that live our lives, that we do the best that we can every single day to be the best person that we can and to be something to somebody in our lives. And we do that each and every day. But these people who are in positions of power that have good jobs, whether they're attorneys or whether they're doctors, and not all attorneys and not all doctors, but people in politics, people in governance, people who own businesses, people who have, jobs that are high up or maybe that look beautiful, traditionally beautiful or handsome. And they don't have time for people like us. They don't have time for people like my friend who, when you take a look at that person, you think to yourself, well, I don't want to be friends with that person. Or you take them for granted. You take them for granted because they are so giving, because they have such a great mind. But for whatever reason, in so many people's minds, we diminish the value of that person because maybe they're overweight, or maybe they don't look the way that everybody does look. And I have to tell you that what is happening right now is that we are all seeing value in one another. No matter who we are, no matter what we've done in our lives, no matter the failures that we've had, we are seeing one another as family and we're seeing one another as people. And that is a beautiful and amazing thing. Coming together and being there no matter what. When you guys being there for me no matter what, and I hope that you guys see that I try to be there for you guys no matter what. And the way that it gets even better is that, because all of us do it. All of us do it. Good morning, Jerry. Great to see you. Each and every one of us do this. We have somebody in our lives that is so giving and would do anything for us, but we take them for granted. We take them for granted because it's easy. And then we apply our time towards somebody who isn't giving back to us, that we want to give because that person is looking at us the way that we're looking at that other person that we're taking for granted. And we so much want the affections of that other person. We want the acknowledgement. We want them to pay attention to us, notice us. But why? Why do we do that? Why do we? Because we look for affirmation, right? We look for validation. Something inside of us says that there is something more appealing about this person, and that if I get something from that person, no matter what it is, that it is somehow going to have more value to me because it's coming from somebody that I see that is more beautiful or more handsome or better. Good morning, Kelly. And then over here, we have this person that has given us everything and done everything for us and is our friend and has been there every turn, but we mistreat them, right? We don't acknowledge them. We don't value them. We don't give them those words of encouragement the way that they do to us. Or if they do, how many times does this happen? You get a text from that person and you may not respond to them right away, but that other person sends you a text and you're responding right away, and then you're waiting for them to respond to you and they don't. Or you try to call that person and they don't call you back, but you treat the other person the same way. Recognize how you're treating people. See those people in your life that want to be there for you and be there for them. Because I will guarantee you, once you do that, it's brilliant. It's something to treasure and cherish. When you see that person as a person, as somebody that's equal with you and that you have value. Good morning, Cy. Great seeing you, brother. Happy Friday. And that's what we all need to do. See value in everyone. And when I say see opportunity in everyone, it's not that you want to use anybody or you want to mistreat anybody or use is the word, abuse is another word. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be somebody that is being opportunistic with that person. That's not what I mean. What I mean is truly see that person. And when you see those people in your life for the value that they have, no matter how they look, no matter what they do, no matter what they've done, that person is going to appreciate you more than you can possibly imagine. And you're going to have something absolutely wondrous together, amazing and incredible, where this friendship develops, that there's this bond that is created, that it's inseparable, it's unconditional. And I'm so blessed and fortunate, for example, Cy, and Paula, and I see them, and Jackie and how we're building it with Mark and all of you guys. Cy and I, we don't get to see each other all the time, Cy, but every time Cy sees me, it's like, oh my God, and we are brothers. Like, we are absolutely 1000% brothers. We're family. We don't get to see one another. We both get it. We both understand it. We don't hold it against one another, but we know that other person, that no matter what we would need, the moment you pick up that phone, no matter how much time has elapsed, we'll be there for him, And why? Because Cy took a look at me as somebody who was worth something. He took a look at me as though I was somebody that had value. And Cy appreciates me because I looked at him in the same way. We've all had our accomplishments. When you take a look at that person, and I love this example. You take a look at that farmer, there's a song, and I think it's Jason Aldean or somebody else, oh no, it's not, but he could buy, it's Montgomery Gentry. It's Montgomery Gentry. And, he could buy whatever with the $100 bills in his pocket, I love being the person that people take for granted. I love that. I love being the person that people think, oh, well, that guy's nothing. He can't do anything. I've loved being the underdog my entire life. I always have been. I love people taking a look at me the way that they do because, it means that, first off, it builds up, you just don't care. Like, you really don't care how people look at you. You overcome, you surmount it, and so you don't give it any credence or weight. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Teresa. Great to see you, sweetheart. You don't give it any weight or credence or value on how anybody looks at you. You just do your thing. Stoically, focused, disciplined. And all that other stuff, it isn't even noise or static. It becomes completely irrelevant. You don't even notice it. You don't even see it. You don't even acknowledge it. It doesn't permeate. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. When you are, good morning, Justin, when you are so committed to knowing what is virtuous, what is moral, what is right, that you're just going to push forward. that no matter how anybody looks at you or perceives you, you don't care. And, so you have that farmer there that, you got all the rich guys coming out, because, that's just the way it is. When people are all dressed up, they've got something to prove, whatever it is that they're proving. They're very unhappy people. When you got to drive around in the flashy car. Is it fun to drive around in a flashy car? I ain't gonna lie. It is. I've been blessed and graced to have driven around in some fancy cars, but I can show you guys right outside the window here. I got me my flashy, speedy 2007 Toyota Prius that I got to get fixed. And then I got my 2009 soccer mom vehicle, my Toyota RAV4. So, it's all about image and ego for me. I do have my dump trailer though. I'm wondering if I can motorize that. That would be awesome. I do have the dump trailer. And then I have my 2001 Ducati. So that's 20 years now. Oh my God, it's almost 20 years old. That is ridiculous. But I love it, But you have the people that there's something missing in them, right? They're shallow. They're superficial. They're looking for, good morning, Bonnie. They're looking for something materialistic to fill those shortcomings that they have within them, right? They want to buy this house. They want to have this piece of property. They want to talk about themselves all the time, their accomplishments, their kids' accomplishments, the things that they've done. They want to talk about other people to try to bring other people down. And there's just ultra competitive. And we need people like that in life, right? We do. Because those people are the ones that get things done. They do. They get stuff done. They're the ones that build the buildings. They're the ones that create towns. So there's value in those people. But at the same time, those people are truly unsatisfied and unhappy. And they love to try to bring other people down. Even no matter who they are, no matter what, status they have, they love to bring them down because... and these are people like Andrew Cuomo. These people are like John Flynn. These people are, good morning, Bill. This is people like Mark Poloncarz or Bernstein or, teachers unions or teachers. These are those people. They're just very unhappy people. They're very unsatisfied people in life. And they love, and what typically happens is these people love to control other people. So... Yeah, I have had the Prius on 2 wheels. There's no doubt about it. All right, Tom, good deal. And I don't want to hear about your underwear anymore. No more talking about your underwear. If you've driven in a car with me, anybody, it doesn't matter what kind of car it is. I don't even realize I'm driving the way that I do, but it's just the way it is. Hey, good morning, Joyce. So, the point is that we look to these people. We look to all of these people that we put up on a pedestal for whatever reason. They're beautiful, they're successful, or we're seeing them as successful, but some of them are nice people. Some of them are good people. So many of them aren't. And we're looking to get their affection and their attention and some type of acknowledgement when we don't need that at all. And it's, it's the people surrounding us, and it's the people over here that you're looking down upon the same way that other people are looking down upon you, that you need to hold in the regard that you're trying to hold this person over here that you see is so successful. Because there's that person is an architect, that person owns a business, that person's a family member. Good morning, Lisa. That person had owned businesses. They've been, politicians. They've been in the military and high position, as maybe an E7 or an E8. And you take that person for granted because, well, they're older, right? Or maybe they've got gray hair, or maybe they don't look as pretty as some of the other people on this other side over here. Or maybe they're not as outspoken or forward as somebody else, right? Maybe they're not as eloquent or elegant. But that person is absolutely beautiful. Pay attention to that. And I think the reason it's important is because that's how we're going to come together. And that's how we're going to come together even more. Be there for those people in your life that you take for granted. Don't take people for granted anymore. Take a look at those people in your life that are there for you unconditionally, no matter what. And be that person that is there for that person unconditionally, no matter what, as well. So, yesterday was just a wonderful day, and getting to go over to Rosemary's house and, to be over there and to see what she does. And, when I was talking about her, she's an artist. She's got paintings that she's done. She knits, and she has submitted things to Erie County Fair like every year. She lives in the east side of the city of Buffalo. And I think that this is another big thing to talk about. Don't have those stereotypes of people. Don't have those preconceived notions of what somebody is. Don't be dismissive of them because of where they come from. And I think so oftentimes it's easy to do that. Here's a woman, lives on the east side of Buffalo, has a Confederate flag in her basement, and she's got, she knits, she submits to the Erie County Fair, all these different things that she does, and she's won awards. She's like, yep, I've won an award every year. So all of these layers that are so absolutely beautiful to uncover, and that are to be revealed with each one of us. And when you stop, when you slow down, and then you stop to take a look and appreciate that person, that is where the wonderful thing comes from. So yesterday I was able to go over and have lunch with Rosemary, and just a beautiful, beautiful, amazing, incredible woman, works her ass off, does everything. She wants to be a part of these groups as well. And that's another thing, guys. Don't discount people because of where they live or what you think they are based on the color of their skin, their background, their ethnicity, their religion. They will shock and astonish you. And, she wants to be a part of this, but she works her ass off. She works at a couple of different companies and businesses, and she tries hard. She takes care of other people as well. Good morning, Joe. Great seeing you, brother. Happy Friday. So I was blessed to be able to share that yesterday. And then Brian, love Brian. I absolutely love Brian. And he texted me, and we were fortunate enough to go out to dinner the other night. I don't know when it was. It may have been earlier this week. It may have been no, it wasn't earlier this week. It was last week when Antifa was down in the city. And I just realized I haven't put my finger in my ear yet. We're gonna start running. What the hell? What do they? Oh man, whatever they call that thing where you're guessing at what point during the video I'm gonna put my finger in my ear. Oh God, somebody tell me what you call that. My brain isn't working. It's the 5G kicking in. So, oh God. So we went out to eat after that, and we went to Otto's, and I wanted a calzone so bad. Wait, I've already put my hands on my fingers. Oh, well, mark it down. Whoever won, sorry, my bad. See, I do it so often I don't even realize it. So I keep my hands here and I try to interlock them. But we went out and he had a calzone, and then he texted me yesterday, and he had, he had some stuff going on earlier in the week, and he said, hey, you want to go out for a calzone? I was like, hell yeah. And I was on a live yesterday, and I was, pre-dinnering dinner, but the calzones over there are so good. But Brian, just such a great guy, and just, another, somebody that, flies below the radar, that people can take for granted very easily, that you're not going to notice or pay attention to, that has so much to give. So I was awesome that I got to go eat a calzone. I still got a little bit of it left. It might be breakfast. No, ew. Calzone for breakfast is good, just like cold pizza. But anyways, so it was great getting together with him. And then when I went down to Albany, there was a gentleman by Ed is his name. And this big guy, I didn't really know anything about him, but quiet, walks onto the bus. Here I got my megaphone, so you want to talk about he and I being on the bus and it being the bus of misfits. He's got like a plastic bag that's falling apart. he's so big. He's like 280, 290. Just this, he's about 6 foot, 6'1", whatever. He can barely squeeze through the bus. And the one child, he was there, and he was, it was Nate. It was Nate, and he was there. And Nate was sleeping, and he's like, "Oh, can you wake him up? I can't get by him." And that's how big he was, and bumbly. And you just don't know how to take Ed, right? You're like, where did this guy come from? Like, seriously. And I'm trying to talk to everybody else, and doing my thing, and you guys know the social butterfly, and I'm all over the place. And I didn't really get a chance to talk to Ed. I didn't, all I know is that Ed's got a cooler and he's like eating nonstop. And I'm usually that guy, but he took the title for that road trip. And, he's just eating. He's got his cooler, just super quiet, not really saying anything to anybody. And I'm like, what is this guy's story? I have no idea what's going on with him. So we come back, we do the rally down there in Albany, and I don't really see Ed. I don't know how you miss him, but he's gone. Where's Ed? And then I'm like, is he a part of BLM and Antifa? And he was coming down. What's the deal? Oh, he comes back on the bus, and I see him again. I'm like, okay, well, good. Thank God Ed made it. Gets back on the bus, and we come home, and we're sitting in the parking lot, and Starla needed a ride. Everybody else had left, and Ed was still there. And Ed and I started to get to talking, when it turns out, Ed works for the railroad. And I don't know if he's an engineer on the railroad or whatever it is, but that's what he does. I mean, a pretty good job, solid job. And he lives over in Lancaster. He's got a townhome over there. And, we start talking about working out. And he was bringing it up. And he says, yeah, I got a lot of stuff in my garage. You should come over and work out sometime. And I kind of, I was like, yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, man, it's going to be so tough to get over there, right? But I felt there was just some reason why I felt like I needed to reach out to Ed, And, Ed he's got his mom and he's got his dad. And he, I don't know how many friends he has or whatever the deal is, but he's got his sister, and his sister is just, they don't see eye to eye like so many of us. I just felt like it was important to try to reach out to Ed, so I did. And he said, yeah, come over and work out, and one day it didn't work out. So yesterday I had some time. I had something going on, I can't remember what it was. Oh, I was supposed to get together with Mike Bray. And then he couldn't, because he lost his brother the other day. And so, that wasn't able to happen. We were going to get together at Applebee's. So we're going to get together today, and we'll see Michael today. But, Ed, I actually fell asleep yesterday. That happens. I was, I sat down, took a break for a minute. Just be a minute, right? Lay down at 7 o'clock. You wake up, you're like, oh my God, is it 2 a.m? What time is it? Was? Fortunately, it was only 7:45, and I had already planned to get together with Ed for the workout. And I go over there, and I said, hey, does 9:30 work? It works. I get over to his house. It's a whole bunch of townhomes, and he's got one of the garage units, and they're small units. But what Ed has done is Ed has put an entire, strongman competition into his garage. In this this small one-car garage, he has all this stuff that you would if you were a strongman. And I'm pulling up, and I'm like, seriously, what is going on? Like, I have no idea what's going on right now. I'm expecting, he's talking to me, he's got all this stuff, and there's going to be this gym that he's got inside this garage, like a nice 2.5 car garage. And I'm like, all right, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be heated. I've been looking forward to doing some heavy weight. It's been a minute, and I pull up, and I'm looking, and I'm going, what is this? And it was literally just this garage that Ed had with everything he is compiled, and it was great. It was beautiful. So it was way different than what my expectations were. And this is why I'm talking about it, because it's just being adaptable, right? It's not getting upset with people. It's embracing it. Embrace the differences. I don't know a single other person in this area that has a gym out of their garage with all strongman stuff. I don't. Like, I just don't know anybody else like that. So how fortunate am I to have met Ed, to have this stuff and set up like that? It's completely and utterly unique. And I pull up and now, mind you, when I work out, typically I'm the one that's lifting the heaviest weight. That's usually the way it is. There are some exercises that somebody else is going to beat me in, and I don't do it for that reason. I do it because I just love the way it feels. I love to push myself. I love to always, make sure I'm trying to challenge myself, always. And Ed is in there, and he's got like tires on a bar. There's a thick bar, so you get better grip on it. And he's got weights on it, and he's just ripping out back shrugs, right? He's bent over, and it's just about as dungeony as you could possibly imagine. I have never been in a gym that was more dungeony than this one was. And, you knew Ed was strong, but you didn't realize how strong he was. And this guy is just repping out crazy amounts of weight. And he's got the setup with everything there that you would have for World Strongman. He's even got the Atlas stones. He has all 6 or 8 Atlas stones. He's got a 3 platforms set up so that he can put the Atlas stones up on top of them. He's got the big thing that you carry, that the guys carry around. He's got tires. He's got the big tire there. He's got the big bags. And you would never know it. And this is what I'm saying, that people have all of these layers to be discovered. If you just take the time to pay attention to them. If you take the time to hold them in some regard, I had an amazing night with Ed. Like, I would never have expected it. I'm expecting it to go over there, it's going to be like at the gym normally, you got cable. But instead of in there doing everything, I couldn't lift the stuff that he was lifting. He had the keg, and he turned the keg sideways, and then he put it up on himself, and then he's got the big metal thing, where it's the log lift. And he's got those things, and it's metal, and he's putting it up on his chest, and he's bringing it up like it's super easy. And I couldn't even do it. No morning, Jay. And that's unusual. Like, no matter where I go, I can usually lift the stuff. And he's just putting the stuff up super easy. So, that's not the end of the story. And I know it's been a long story. But we walk in to Ed's house, and he's like, hey, if you want to eat, let's eat. And, I go, he's got a beautiful townhome, beautiful. Except it's like, for Ed, is a big dude, like I said, 290. You got the small place, but he makes it work. And then I go over and I see his wall of fame that he has. And on the wall of fame, he's competing in all the strongman competitions locally. So he says, I think it was in Dunnville or whatever, up in Canada. And thanks, Joe. I appreciate it, brother. He's a strong, and he's like won back in 2014, and he competes every year, and he's going to Minnesota. So here's this guy, this completely unassuming guy that you're not even looking at. He's so quiet. And this guy, one of the layers you uncover for him. So I didn't feel as bad not being able to lift what he was lifting, because I lifted it. I was able to lift it, and I was able to get some reps out, but I wasn't able to do what he was able to do. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get that strong. But, what a blessing. What a gift to be able to share that he opened up his world and his life to me. Good morning, Linda. He saw something in me to want to, welcome me into that, to give that to me, to make that contribution to me. And I think that that's so important in life. I think so often, and there's a word for it, and I can't think of it. But we have, for lack of a better word, this self-esteem, how we hold ourselves in regard, the ego that we have. And, sometimes I think we see ourselves that, we're a little bit better than other people, right? Or we're always looking at people like, what can we give to them and what can we contribute to them? I got to tell you what, there is nothing better and nothing more beautiful and humbling and human to not have ego. And I'm not going to say that I don't have ego, because I still do. Absolutely, it's still there. I try to shed it as much as I can. But to humble yourself, to let somebody else look at you in a way that they're contributing to you to bring you up here, to where they're at, and to want to make you even better. It's such a gift to be able to give that to yourself, because the amount of things that you're going to learn and absorb, it's just, it makes you feel so good that somebody would care. Hey, good morning, Carla. Great to see you, sweetheart. You're right, Justin. A pride? Oh, yeah, that's one of the words. Yeah, pride. Pride, for sure. Absolutely pride. Yep. That you have, that, you don't humble yourself to let somebody else bring you up and elevate you. That we, so many times we think that we've got to be the expert, we're not. We're not an expert in anything. There's always somebody else that has something to contribute to us, to teach us, no matter what it is. I would just hope for every single one of you guys that you would have the ability to have the types of experiences that I've had in this last 8 months and throughout my life. But this last 8 months has been absolutely incredible. So thank you to Ed, thank you to Rosemary, and thank you to Brian for an amazing day yesterday. And thank you to everybody that reaches out to me each and every day, to talk to me and text me to let me know how much it means to you guys to listen to these things. I know it means a lot to me. It really does. So that being said, I know I've been into this a while, and you guys know I'm getting hungry by now. So I got to go eat some breakfast, but there are a few things that I need to cover. John Flynn, I'm going to cover that again, what he did, not right now. But that guy is an absolute terrorist who has weaponized his position against good people and innocent people. That guy needs to be taken out of office. He is a criminal. He is a mob boss. He is completely and utterly selective in how he chooses to enforce the laws that he is sworn to uphold. He selectively enforces everything. He's going to come after guns a-blazing if you're a conservative or a Republican, or if you're somebody that violates mandates or orders that aren't even laws on the books. But he's not going to do anything about people who are destroying homes. Sick. Cuomo, the same thing. This was something I wanted to say earlier, I guess I can see why there would be a second lockdown, right now. Well, not even a second lockdown, because we've been in lockdown the whole time. And it was so funny, because I remember people going, well, what do you mean we're still in a lockdown? Really? What do I mean? We're still in a lockdown? But I get it. I really get why pulling cars and, Bernstein and Zucker and, Zuckerberg and Facebook and everybody else. I can see why they want the lockdowns. They're scared, right? They're worried because, we don't have, a year long of science about COVID. It's not like it's been here since last October. So we don't have that science. Are you picking up on the sarcasm? If you're not, I'll shake my head a few more times. We don't have that years long worth of science there, so I can see why there needs to be more lockdowns, 0 to 40 years old, nobody's dying. I can see there needs to be more lockdowns because nobody's dying. I can see there being lockdowns because, this has mutated so much that it's so weak that, we need to protect ourselves from this weak strain, which was already a weak strain of the virus, but, it's an even weaker strain of the virus now that's not killing anybody. We need these lockdowns. Absolutely. So we need these lockdowns because for months and months and months, we've been at 227,000 dead, and we just don't know who's going to die, even though nobody's died for months from COVID-19. We need these lockdowns. We have to have these lockdowns because people haven't died for months. We need these lockdowns because there's Sweden stayed open the entire time. Nobody, their death rate was about the same as everybody else's that didn't shut down. Iceland, the same thing, and dozens of other countries that never shut down. We need a lockdown because those countries, they're not proof that, you can save people, without locking everything down and forcing people to wear masks. We have no evidence or proof that, not having lockdowns don't work. Yeah, we've got no proof of that, So I can see why there needs to be more lockdowns, because there's no countries that exist that haven't done a lockdown and that are now down to 0 deaths and haven't had any deaths, and all they have in their case count has gone way low. Hey, Diana, you're right. I agree. So there's no, and there, the other thing is that, there's no states in this country that are open and that really never closed to justify, keeping things open. That hasn't happened, so we need the lockdown. We need another lockdown. We need our schools to be shut down because, no one 0 to 19 is dying. We have to have these schools shut down because, nobody 0 to 19 or 0 to 40 or even 0 to 70 are dying. Nobody's dying. So we need to have these things shut down, guys. This is literally the way people think, and it's ready to explode. My head is ready to explode. If you're not picking up on everything, right? Good morning, Deb. We need these shutdowns because we have dozens of preventatives. We have dozens of treatments and dozens of cures and dozens of remedies that have been being used effectively in hospitals, by doctors, by medical professionals to cure everybody within a day or two that has COVID-19. We need these lockdowns. These lockdowns have to be imposed because, that stuff is there, that we can treat. We need the vaccinations because, we've got all these cures and these remedies that are completely 100, not 90% successful, they're 100% successful, saving people. We need these lockdowns. We got to keep everybody in their houses. We need these lockdowns at this point because, you need to be a good neighbor. You got to be a good citizen. You got to be a good New Yorker and a strong New Yorker. And you can't put teachers at risk, even though they're not at risk. We need these lockdowns. That is literally the insanity and the arguments that are out there, guys. These teachers that are out there, these union presidents, these government officials, Cuomo, Poloncarz, they completely and utterly ignore reality and facts right now. But they're in charge. So what do? You got to come together. This is why I started talking about what I started talking about earlier and recognize and paying attention, because what people tell me all the time is this. They say, Pete, I don't know anybody. It's an uphill battle to get people to join in. It's not, guys. If you're not a leader, find somebody else who is charismatic, who will get a group of 2, 3, 4. You guys in a group of 3 or 4 or 5 can change everything in your school district. How? You stay focused. You stay focused in a way that you put a plan together and you execute that plan, you act on that plan, and you make that plan effective. And when something doesn't work, document it, chronicle it all, document it all. And when something works, make sure you put that in a note and then train other group leaders and other groups and how they can do it. And when something doesn't work, don't get frustrated or discouraged. Let that lift you up. Let that be an educational experience and learn from it. And when somebody else asks you if it works or not, say it didn't work for us, but you may be able to do it a little bit differently, that it will work. That's how you fight this, guys. That is the only way we can fight it. We need to build up people. The people, I just received something from somebody yesterday that locally, every hospital, this is every hospital, and this has been for months and months and months and months. At the very beginning, remember when they set up all the tents and they said we still needed lockdowns? People were like, why? Well, nobody's coming in. Like nobody's coming in. They shut the tents down. They sent all the nurses home from out of New York City, and the ship, they never used it. They never used the hotel rooms that it had available, but we were still in a lockdown mode. They increased and accelerated the lockdown mode. right now, one person specifically, but I know dozens of others that have reached out to me that have said there are no patients in our hospitals. And yet you're going to have these administrators and these other nurses that are leftists that are completely out of their mind. I know somebody that died. I have you have 3 family members in Erie County that died. Okay, well that's super weird because the number of people that die in Erie County is around 100. So I don't mean to diminish or belittle your experience, but I'm throwing a red flag. I'm not going to say it's a bullshit flag, but I'm going to throw a red flag on this because can we take a look into this? It just seems, hey, people died. Do you see what it does to people? Oh my God. It makes them lose their taste. It makes them lose their sense of smell. Permanently? Well, no, but it still makes them lose it. Fauci said, Birx said, WHO said. Have you done any of your own research? Let me start there. Have you done any of your own research? Like, have you looked into any of it? Have you gone to hospitals and spoken to, good morning, Daniel. Great to see you. Good morning, Kevin. Have you spoken to anybody in medicine at all? Mr. Union President, Mrs. Union President, Mrs. Teacher, Mr. Teacher? Or are you still believing everything that the media is telling you? Even though nobody's dying from it, case counts are still here, but they want to say there's a spike because you had your spike over here, but you're down here, but you see a little blip. And then what they do is they go, don't pay attention to this over here. Don't watch this huge spike and everything that's over here in Benford's Law. Don't look at that anymore. Look at down here, because now they're going to show you this down here. And they're going to be like, see the huge spike? You're like, it was one person. It's a huge spike. Did you see the huge spike? And in 1918, in the Spanish flu, oh my God. Yeah, because we haven't learned anything in 100 years. So we need new lockdowns because nobody's safe. Nobody's dying. Wait a minute, I should say this. Everyone's safe. Everyone has a cure that's 100% effective. Nobody's dying, 0 to 40, 0 to 70. Anybody that's healthy, facts. Nobody's dying. Nobody is dying. Yeah. So, and we're going to cover that, the testing. That was the last thing that I wanted to say. Nobody's dying. Everybody's safe. You have dozens of treatments, dozens of preventatives, no spikes, no anything like that. We have to have a lockdown, guys. Absolutely, unequivocally need to have a lockdown. I know there's dozens of other states that are open without any restrictions at all. Indiana, Florida, you go through the list, all of them. I know there's dozens of them. I know there's dozens of countries that never shut down, a lockdown, and they've been fine for months and months and months. I know that. But guys, we need a lockdown. We need a lockdown. Why do we need a lockdown? We need a lockdown because New Yorkers are different. New Yorkers are completely different from all the other humans that are on the planet. New Yorkers and Californians, and even though California, don't listen to the fact that their Supreme Court just disavowed and ruled that those executive orders were wrong and unconstitutional and that they all got to be dropped. Don't listen to that. Don't listen to the Michigan ruling from the Supreme Court. New York is different. New Yorkers are different. We're New York strong, so we need the lockdowns, guys. We have to have the lockdowns because we're New York strong. Not one death. Doesn't matter. If it's elderly and they're dying, that's okay. If they're suicidal and they're drugs and it's spousal abuse, that doesn't matter. Not one person can die from COVID. Not one. We save everybody. Nobody's dying. One person. We need the lockdown. Guys, we need the lockdown. Don't you understand that New York is different than every other country, every other state? We're different. New Yorkers are different. We're different because the individuals at the top oh yeah, they love them some money. That's why New Yorkers are different. 100% vaccinated. It's that fear, guys. They are putting that fear in there over and over and over again. You know, it's just incessant and nonstop. And this will crush businesses, guys. It absolutely will. With the testing, and I don't want to get, belabor that point. You guys know where I'm at with it. I think I already belabored that. But anyway. So, testing. Thank you, Diana. Diana's absolutely beautiful. She's always reminding me of everything, and I love it. And guys, I thank Diana whenever you get a chance, or friend her. She has kept, Free New York State going on, freenewyorkstate.com. She has done an amazing and brilliant job with that. And Rally WNY, she has done a beautiful and wonderful job. There's so many people behind the scenes that are keeping things going right now, and we're just building and building and building everything that we can. But Diana, guys, take a chance to thank her. And Diana, give Hope a big hug for me. Dance a little with her for me. Tell her I'm thinking about her and that I miss her and I can't wait to see her next, all right? But the tests, here we go. Department of Health, local Department of Health officials acknowledged and admitted local tests are coming back with false negatives. How do they know that? Because people aren't even testing themselves, sending it in, and they're coming back with positives. So, this increase in tests, pandemic is not defined by positive tests. It's not defined by that. It's defined by deaths, and there's nobody dying. But they want to have it defined because their plan that everybody was going to die because they don't understand epidemiology, they don't understand viral science, Yeah, I know. Great point. Great point. I appreciate that, Justin. Thank you very much. And guys, the minds that you have, I want to just say this, guys. Believe in yourselves, guys. Please believe in yourselves. I believe in every single one of you guys. Every one of you guys. Diana never expected to have a page as big as she did. Diana never expected to reach and touch as many people. Not touch people that way. You better not be touching people that way, Diana. I don't know, unless you're into them or they're attractive. If you're attracted to them, then that counts. But she has reached so many people in so many great ways. Believe in yourselves. Be a leader. Believe that you can be a leader. Believe that you can bring people together. That's how this all grows and becomes even more powerful. That's how it happens, guys. But these test kits, they're pushing them all on us right now. They want more people to be tested because they know they're all false negatives. They know they're false negatives. And that's why they're pushing. And who's going to argue that? Who's going to argue? Who's going to expose it? They're just going to continue to lie. And again, Pete, why do they want this? They want every business shut down that they possibly can. The reason why is they're trying to make New York, it's a race to see which state can be the first communist state. And they want as many people reliant upon government that need it as possible. And if you don't believe me, all you need to do is listen to Cuomo. Listen to what he says. He's telling you exactly what he wants. He does not care about small business owners. Don't give a shit about him. They had these gangs. They had these warlords, these terrorists last night in the form of Department of Health going around in teams of individuals to monitor and spy on businesses, good businesses, business owners that pay their salaries. They were going around in gangs and teams of people last night at 10 o'clock to catch people. And then if they were going to come out 3 hours later to catch people if they were doing something. I've been talking about this and I'm going to kind of end on this, guys, but it's just wrong. But what happens is we're now 8 months out from what was the way things at least kind of should have been. But now we're 8 months after, and after all the abuse in New York State, because other states aren't subjected to what we are. And that's the biggest question you have to have and present to these people. Well, why are we different here in New York than we are in this state, and 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 this state, in this country, in this country, in this country, in this country? I'm just wondering why. Tell me how we're different here than we are anywhere else. Explain it to me. I think that's a legitimate and justified question to ask and present to somebody, especially when you're depriving them of life, liberty, and happiness, their human rights, their constitutionally afforded rights, their naturally provided for rights, the right to provide for their family, own a business, work, go see their family. I think that's a justified reason. Explain to me and everybody else in the room how we're different here in New York State. You're absolutely right, Justin. And the model was completely wrong. And all of his peers over in the UK, when it happened, it is insane. There's a whole other bunch of stuff to go into. And I appreciate you bringing that up, Justin. Thank you. We got to fight this, guys. The numbers that we have now aren't enough. We need 10 times the number of people that we have, guys. And I'm counting on each and every one of you to build your groups, to build your networks the best that you can. Do that. Start today. Start looking in your Facebook family, through your phone, who is like-minded, and start meeting with them. And then reach out to me. Ask me what it is you can do if you need to, if you need some direction. Because there's so many different, I've got it all planned out and plotted out. Somebody reached out to me. It was Jackie. Jackie reached out to me and she said, we're going to try to have to figure out how to get food if these forced vaccinations come out. And I have already had that planned out, guys. But it's great that Jackie is thinking that way. And it's great that you guys are thinking that way. But that's already in the plan. Like there's layers and layers and layers of everything that's there for us to battle this when it gets that bad. And we can fight this, guys. We can make these changes. Government is not that big to take it down. Like it's really not. But the only way we can do it, having the numbers, it's proven right now that the numbers that we have, we are not making a big enough difference. We need 10, start with double the numbers, and then let's see if that works. And then let's double our numbers again. And then let's double our numbers again. And then let's see when it finally is enough to matter. I want to end on a happy note here with everybody. I put my glasses back on. And now I'm picking my eyes. So it's not enough that I pick my ears for you guys. Got to pick my eyes too. I went to Otto's and I had water from them, and I had water from Applebee's on Veterans Day. So it just calcifies within me. It sucks. But anyways, on a happy note, today is going to be a great day, wonderful day. 6 to 9, Niagara Square, Russ Thompson. Thank God, thank you so much for Russ Thompson and everything he does in this area. And Carl Palladino, I want to take a second to thank Carl Palladino for everything that he's done for us and our groups. And Carl does it behind the scenes, which is absolutely wonderful. And that's kind of the way he needs to be. He was at the forefront for a very long time. He needs the rest of us to step up. Russ needs the rest of us to step up. But thank you for Russ Thompson and Carl, if he's had any hand in it today, to have the Back the Bars, a rally down at Niagara Square between the hours of 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Guys, show up if you can. Please, absolutely show up. I'm looking forward to that. I know a bunch of people that are going. I'm going to be spending the morning and the better part of the afternoon sending messages out to everybody to get as many people down there as we can. I know it's chilly. Dress up. You're a Buffalonian. Suck it up. You're tougher than that. Come on out. And then tonight, we are meeting to go down to D.C. We're meeting at Ying's on the corner of, that old Kmart Plaza. It's in Lancaster. You've got, French Road and then Transit Road right here. There's the Tops over here. Ying's is down in that plaza where Kmart is. It's that Dave's Christmas shop now. We're meeting there, all right? Yeah, I don't know if I'll... Who you talking to, Diana? There's not much hope of that of me being good. But anyways, I'll try. So, no, I'm not going to try. I know. So, But guys, if you want to ride down with us, we're caravanning, Marching Patriots. We were able to get a van, we were able to get a Suburban, and then a bunch of other people are driving down. Some people are coming back, some people are coming back Saturday night, and then some people are going to stay overnight Saturday into Sunday to stay for the Sunday rally. So whatever you guys want to do, I'm sure there's going to be enough accommodations to do that. But if you need to know what's going on, please message me. I'll do my best to get back to you. I know I've got a lot of people to get back to, but that is going to be an amazing event. I'm so happy so many people from Buffalo are going. We had a ton of people leave this morning. They're staying Friday and Saturday night. And then we've got even more people leaving tonight. And it's not just our group, it's a whole bunch of groups that are going down there. We'll try to message everybody and do lives where we are in the group. This is my first time to DC. I've been down to DC one other time, got my face smashed in playing football. Hopefully that doesn't happen this time, although we got to be careful, right? So, but I was down there once for a football tournament. I didn't get to see anything, but I'm really, really looking forward to that. And the family that I'm talking about, guys, the people that I have been able and blessed to meet in the past 8 months, I didn't know any of these people that I'm going down with. All these people that are like brothers and sisters and family so close that, you know, I have my family members saying, we love what you're doing. Don't stop the fight. Please, please don't stop the fight. We can't fight, but please keep doing what you're doing. And I'm going to love rolling down with them 7 or 8 hours. I got to have somebody else drive because I will fall asleep. I'll take the first leg. I'll take the first 3 hours until I start fading, and then I'm out. I got to go catch some Z's. But so that's going on, and if you guys want to go, please message me. And if you don't, you know, please, you know, keep an eye on the town this weekend and make sure you guys have some fun. I am going to do lives. I'll make sure I got the phones all charged up before I leave. And that's it. Yeah. What was it? Oh my God. The Kamala Harris memes, they're hilarious. The cat, angry cat, whatever that one is, those are pretty funny. So, you know, try to laugh today the best that you can. I know there's a lot of things that can make it so that we're not laughing, but if you need anything, message me. I love you guys very much. If I need to come on later, I will. You guys know that. And if you guys have anything to share with me, please share it with me, and I'll make sure I get it out there. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful morning, and I love you guys. Bye.